Welcome to the biology class, chapter 2, Plant Kingdom. In this video, we will learn about bryophytes. We will discuss about the general characteristic features, classification, and economic importance of bryophytes. Bryophytes are first land plants, but they are called as amphibians of plant kingdom because they are restricted to moist, shady habitats. They also need water for completing their life cycle. Their male gametes swim in water and then fertilization takes place. Fertilization needs water, so they are amphibians of plant kingdom. They are the primitive land plants. Bryophytes are primitive land plants. They evolved from algae. They are the descendants of algae-like ancestors. Some algae have parenchymatous tissue and dichotomous branching. They were the ancestors of bryophytes. Bryophytes are simple land plants. They are called as cryptogams. Cryptogams are non-flowering plants. Bryophytes form a dense covering on the surfaces. They are non-vascular cryptogams. They do not have vascular tissues like xylem and phloem, so they are non-vascular cryptogams. Now let us see the general characteristic features of bryophytes. The plant body of bryophyte is gametophyte because it produces gamete. The gametophyte is haploid. The gametophytic plant is not differentiated into root, stem, and leaf-like structures. Most of them are primitive land-living plants, but a few of them are aquatic. Example, Rhexiocarpus. Rhexiocarpus is the aquatic member of Bryophyta. Rheala is also aquatic member. The gametophyte of bryophytes is conspicuous long-lived phase of the life cycle. The haploid gametophyte is visible structure. It is long-lived. The sporophyte depends on gametophyte. Gametophyte generation is a dominant generation in bryophytes. The bryophytes gametophyte show two forms. Thalloid forms with leaf-like, stem-like structures. The first two classes of bryophytes show thalloid structures. In liverworts and hornworts, the gametophyte is thalloid form. Leaf-like, stem-like structures are found in mosses. Mosses are the third groups of bryophytes. They have leaf-like, root-like structures. Stem-like structures are present. Liverworts are the first classes of bryophytes. They were the first bryophytes to evolve on the earth's surface. The thallus grows prostrate on the ground. In liverworts, the thallus grows prostrate on the ground. What is prostrate growth? When a plant grows straight, bends down, once again comes up, that is prostrate growth. The plant body, that is gametophytic body, is attached to the substratum by means of rhizoids. Rhizoids are root-like structures. They attach the plant body on the substratum. The rhizoids do not involve in the absorption of water and nutrients. Their main function is fixation of the plant. Bryophytes have two kinds of rhizoids, smooth-walled rhizoids and pecked or trabeculae rhizoids. Multicellular scales are present on the ventral side. The scales protect the newly growing parts. Moss are the third group of bryophytes. They are the advanced bryophytes. They form a dense cover on mountain surface. The plant body of moss is erect, and the erect body has a central axis. Central axis contains leaf-like expansions and multicellular rhizoids. Multicellular rhizoids and leaf-like expansions are found on the central axis of the erect plant body of moss. What is pointed out here is sporophyte. The sporophyte remains attached on the gametophyte. It depends on gametophyte. There are different kinds of reproduction in bryophytes. Let us see the vegetative reproduction first. Adventitious buds are produced in Rhexia fluitans. Adventitious buds arise from the lower part of the thallus. Tubers develop in Anthoceros. The tubers grow into new thallus. Gemmae are found in Markentia. Gemmae are cup-like structures. The singular gemma cup. These gemma cups develop into new thallus. Fragmentation is seen in Rhexia. The central part of the thallus undergoes disintegration, so the branches are separated. The branches become separate fragments. They develop into separate thallus. These are the different types of vegetative reproduction seen in bryophytes. Adventitious buds, tubers, gemmae, fragmentation are the types of vegetative reproduction. The sexual reproduction is oogamous. There is separate male and female gametes. Antheridia are the male reproductive organs. Archegonia are the female reproductive organs. Antheridia produce biflagellate antherozoids. These Antheridia and Archegonia are protected by multi-layered covering. In bryophytes, Antheridia and Archegonia are protected by multi-layered covering. Antheridia are male reproductive organs. They produce biflagellate antherozoids. Antherozoids swim in water. Antherozoids swim in a thin film of water found on the surface of the thallus and reach the archegonium and fertilizes the egg. So fertilization needs water. The fertilized egg is called a zygote. It is diploid. Zygote is diploid, so it is the first cell of sporophytic generation. This diploid zygote undergoes mitotic division to produce the embryo. Embryo is also diploid, so embryo is also a part of sporophytic generation. Embryo is a multicellular structure. It divides again to produce the sporophyte. Sporophytic plant is also diploid. The sporophyte depends on gametophyte. What we see here down is gametophyte containing leaf-like, root-like structure. The sporophyte remains attached on the gametophyte. The sporophyte has foot, seta and capsule. Foot, seta and capsule are the three parts of sporophyte. The sporophyte is attached on the gametophyte by means of foot. The basal part is foot. With the help of the foot, it is attached to the gametophyte and gets nutrients and water from the gametophyte. The next part is seta. The top part is capsule. The capsules contain spore mother cells. Spore mother cells are diploid. So spore mother cells are the last cells of sporophyte generation. Spore mother cells undergo reduction division. Meiosis is called as reduction division because it reduces the chromosome number to half. The spore mother cells undergo meiosis to produce haploid spores. 4 haploid spores are produced from a spore mother cell after meiosis. These spores are homosporous. In bryophytes, only one type of spores are produced. So bryophytes are homosporous. These spores are liberated from the spores. Next generation begins. The spores are spread by elyters. Some sporophytes produce elyters. They help the dispersal of spores. This picture shows elyters spread the spore. Example, Mackensia. The spores germinate and develop into a gametophyte. Spore is haploid, gametophyte is haploid. Sporophytic phase is diploid, gametophytic phase is haploid. Zygote, embryo, sporogonium. Sporogonium is spore mother cell. They are diploid structures. Zygote is diploid, embryo is diploid, sporogonium is diploid. They constitute the sporophytic phase. The green long-lived haploid phase is gametophytic phase. In bryophytes, the haploid gametophyte alternates with diploid sporophyte. This is called as alternation of generation. Gametophyte is the first class of bryophytes. Example, Rixia, Mackensia, Porella, Riella. Riella is the aquatic member. Gametophyte is common. The members are commonly called as liverworts. Anthoceraptophyta, the second class of bryophytes. Example, Anthoceros and Dendroceros. They are commonly called as hornworts. Bryopsida, example, Funaria, Polytrichum and Sphagnum. They are commonly called as mosses. Dead thalli of sphagnum gets accumulated and compressed, hardened to form peat. Peat is obtained from the sphagnum. Sphagnum is a bryophyte. After compressed, hardened, it forms peat. Peat is a fuel. In North Europe, peat is used as a fuel in commercial scale. Nitrates, brown dye, tanning materials are derived from peat. Sphagnum and peat are also used in agriculture as packing material because of their water holding capacity. They hold water, so they are used as packing material in horticulture. Mackensia polymorpha is used to cure pulmonary tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is called as TB. Tuberculosis affects bones, lungs, different parts. Tuberculosis of lungs is called as pulmonary tuberculosis. Sphagnum, prion, and polytrichum are used as food.